Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at the latest limited edition 4K release from Arrow Video, and it is 1989's The Killer. So this is directed by John Woo, who we talked about last month with Hard Boiled, as that was also released in the same kind of format with the same limited edition extras. And yeah, this is a Hong Kong action film, clocks in at 111 minutes long, stars once again likes of Chow Yun-fat, who's also in Hard Boiled, as well as Danny Lee Sau-Yin, who was also in Undeclared War, which is another fantastic action film if you've not seen that, as well as City on Fire, alongside Chow Yun-fat, as well as The Super Infoman and The Oily Maniac, which we talked about as part of the Shaw Scott Volume 4, I believe. And yeah, also stars Sally Yee, who was in Peking Opera Blues, which is another Arrow Video release we've talked about earlier this year, as well as Paul Chu Kong, who is in The Legend of Fong Sai-yuk alongside Jet Li. So mob assassin Yong is no ordinary hired gun, the best in his business. He views his chosen profession as a calling rather than simply a job. So when a beautiful nightclub chanteuse, or chantee, I actually can't say how to say that word. Jenny, basically, she's a nightclub singer, is blinded in the crossfire of his most recent hit. Jong chooses to retire after one last job to pay for his unintended victim's sight restoring operation. But when Yong is double crossed, he reluctantly joins forces with a rogue policeman to make things right. So yeah, this is quite frankly easily one of the best action films ever made, and what a way to close the decade that was synonymous with the genre. Chow Yun-fat is great in the lead role. The supporting cast is good. The plot is engrossing. The score is solid, especially the main theme that plays throughout. There is effective characterization, some well explored themes, and the pacing is on point. The action, however, is where this film truly shines, in part due to the top notch cinematography that keeps everything clear cut, but also because every shard of glass, splinter of wood, and spurt of blood comes across as chaotic and uncontrolled in all the best ways. Now, obviously, the action scenes themselves aren't uncontrolled, they are obviously choreographed to a T. But that said, because obviously this isn't a film that is relying on CGI or anything like that, you can't quite tell when something is going or how something is going to explode or how something is going to splinter or anything like that. So when glass is flying all over the place, blood is going up against walls, and wood is splintering and such, it's going to have some parts of it that aren't going to go in the way that the filmmaker intended. But that just works in its favor because it means that it looks realistic, it looks grounded in that respect. And yeah, you can tell that certain parts of this weren't overly controlled because there's a famous shootout in the church scene, in a church, should I say, and I think it's a Mary statue basically explodes after it gets hit by a shotgun, and one of the pieces of that statue flies towards the camera and actually looks like it hits it. Not something that any filmmaker would intentionally do, because obviously a camera is quite an expensive bit of equipment, and yet that it actually does happen, and that's evidence that everything isn't always in control when it comes to these kind of action scenes, and that just gives it really a sense of chaos, a sense of disorder, which a shootout between people would be in real life. To be honest, it wouldn't be a controlled situation. So yeah, you can rank that kind of thing alongside like it's a Die Hard when John McClane is going up onto the roof to rescue the hostages, ends up shooting one of the hostage takers, and blood spurts all over the camera. It's that kind of thing that you just don't get unintentionally now when it comes to these films that rely on special effects and CGI blood and CGI explosions and such. So yeah, it is the kind of film that really does hit that kind of button on with me as far as I'm concerned when it comes to these kind of action films. As yeah, I really do like a film that looks like all hell is breaking loose and no one's really had any kind of say on where things are going and such. So yeah, an excellent film, 4.5 out of 5. I will say though that I prefer Hard Boiled, even though that film doesn't have quite as strong as characterization or thematic weight. At the end of the day, the action in Hard Boiled is just that bit more memorable. That hospital scene alone will be seared into my brain till I die, quite frankly, because of how excellent and iconic and how well done it actually is. Whereas the action scenes in this, they are excellent, but they don't really have mass. There aren't really any overly long I don't want to say overly long because that makes it sound like it's a bad thing, but there aren't any really massively extended action scenes in this. They only really typically last between 5 or 10 minutes, whereas with the hospital scene Hard Boiled, obviously that is 20 minutes plus or something like that. So that just leaves a little bit of a bigger impact in terms of the action. But overall, still a really, really good effort, and definitely feels in part like a test run for Lights of Hard Boiled. Although the next film that our video are going to be releasing from John Woo, is it Bullet in the Head, from 1990? That might well even be more of a film that looks like a test run for Hard Boiled. Because at the end of the day, like I said, this is a bit more grounded, a bit more characterful, a bit more thematic, and yeah, on the whole, is also quite darker in terms of tone. So yeah, but still, overall, a fantastic film. One that I do highly recommend, and yeah, looks absolutely superb in this new 4K transfer. And we actually also have 3 discs with this release instead of the 2 that we got with Hard Boiled. So yeah, we have on the first disc, which is the 4K one, we have the film itself and some extras. Then the second disc is all about the extras, in terms of just generally extras. And the third disc actually has an extended cut on of the film, although only in 1080p and Blu-ray. So we'll look at the extras now. So yeah, the film itself is presented in 4K Ultra HD 2160p, presented in Dolby Vision HDR10 compatible, original lossless Cantonese mono and Dolby Atmos audio. So 2 options there for the Cantonese audio, and then only lossless English mono for the audio for the English soundtrack. You've also got optional newly translated English subtitles for the Cantonese audio, although you can choose between the original ones and the newly revised ones if you so wish. Then you've also got optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing for the English audio. Then you've got brand new commentary by director John Woo and film journalist Drew Taylor. Brand new commentary by critic David West. 2 archival commentaries by John Woo, one with producer Terence Chang. And then you got deleted and extended scenes, theatrical trailers, and image gallery. So all of those extras are on the 4K disc alone. And then on the standard single extras disc, or standalone extras disc, we've got the hero of heroic bloodshed, a brand new feature-length documentary on John Woo's career, brand new interviews with John Woo, producer Terence Chang, and editor David Woo. Then you've got Hong Kong Confidential, a new appreciation by author Grady Hendrix, archival. Oh, they've actually misspelled a word. Not a good sign. Archival. That's not how you spell that word. Archival interviews with cinematographer Peter Powell and actor Sau-Yin, as well as Kenneth Sang. 4 archival featurettes from 2001 with Woo and producer Soy Hark. And then you got American Cinematheque 2025 introduction with Woo. And then the extended cut is actually a high definition 1080p Blu-ray presentation of the 130-minute Taiwan extended cut with lossless Mandarin mono audio and optional English subtitles, which contains standard definition inserts. So that is 19 minutes longer than the standard version that is on the 4K disc. Not seen it myself, purely because I just wanted to see this film again for the first time in 4K, after for the longest time seeing this film in really, really poor quality online and on, yeah, I think it was DVD. I think it might well have had at some point, but regardless, yeah, really just wanted to see this film in 4K for the first time. So I've not seen the extended version, so I can't say how that looks, to be honest. But you also have the option to view the extended cut with additional scenes from the Taiwan VHS release, and there's also an unrestored print of the extended cut, standard definition with burnt-in subtitles only. So yeah, quite a few extras there. The film itself is in the aspect ratio of 1:85:1. It's in colour, and yeah, obviously you've got several different languages there and a couple of audio options. So yeah, on the whole, a really, really comprehensive release. Surprises the misspelling though on the back, quite frankly, given how much quality control you'd expect this film to go through. But luckily, even though there's a misspelling on the back of the release, there aren't any such issues when it comes to the picture or the sound quality, as far as I'm concerned. And then we have some physical extras as well, just like we did with Hard Boiled. So not only do we have the hard box itself, but we have several art cards, all of which have the original poster on the reverse. So minor spoilers for the film throughout. There's Sau-Yin Fat himself. There he is with Sau-Yin or Yi. There's Sau-Yin Fat with Danny. Danny Lee Sau-Yin. And there they are again. Not a particularly high quality picture there, that one. It's a bit unclear in terms of what's going on. And the same with this one, which doesn't even really look that good, to be honest. So yeah, not the best shots from the film there. But we do also have a double-sided poster, which again is on nice thick paper. Feels high quality, just like it was with Hard Boiled. So we get the new artwork that we've seen already on the hard box, which I really like the look of. And then we get the original poster on the reverse, which again is actually fairly decent. And we also get a booklet with this release as well, again with the new artwork on the front, and nothing really on the reverse, just like with the hard box. And inside you get your cast and crew. Then we get The Killer, John Woo's Elegy for Chivalry by Priscilla Page. Then we have John Woo's The Killer, Honor, Melancholy, and A Ballet of Bullets by Frank Jang. Heat Target by Rafik Duyumi. And then Interview with John Woo by Stefan Moyasakis, and about the presentation, and then production credits and special thanks, as well as shots of the film throughout as well, some of which will already have seen. So yeah, there is Sau-Yin Fat again, and that's the beginning of the film there with the church, which we revisit towards the end of the film. And yeah, we also have about the presentation as well. So The Killer is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1:85:1 with Cantonese and English mono audio and a new Cantonese Dolby Atmos mix. The film has been restored in 4K resolution and graded in HDR10 and Dolby Vision. The original 35mm camera negative was sourced from the Hong Kong Film Archive and scanned in 4K by Interface Video Production Limited in Hong Kong. So yeah, looks like the same kind of work that's really been done with the with Hard Boiled. When it comes to the extended 130-minute Taiwanese cut of The Killer, it's been remastered in high definition by Brandon Bentley on behalf of Arrow Films. This version combines material from the new restored theatrical version with a standard definition telecine transfer of a 35mm print of the extended version of the film. In addition to regular changes in picture quality throughout, there are instances in which Burton subtitles will appear, as per the extended version print. This version has been created from the best source materials available. So yeah, not only is it not going to look as good as the standard version on the 4K disc, just because it's Blu-ray only, it does look like, yeah, that there isn't really any, you know, high quality prints to go off of to make it look any better either. So yeah, so I will eventually get around to that Taiwanese extended cut at some point, but to be honest, I don't see how it's going to really be able to improve upon the original, to be honest, unless there's some kind of action scene in that 19 minutes that is particularly spectacular. Then I can't see it, much improving on the 111-minute version. And to be honest, it might well overstate its welcome as well, being at 130 minutes long. But yeah, still an excellent film. Not as good as Hard Boiled, but only ever so slightly. And at the end of the day, it is still another excellent effort from John Woo. So yeah, really looking forward to the next film, Bullet in the Head, which I believe came out in 1990. That is one I haven't seen before, so I'm really looking forward to that one, since, you know, seeing any new film from a filmmaker that I have huge respect for and really enjoy several of his films from is only ever a good thing, to be honest, regardless of the quality of the effort itself. So yeah, but nonetheless, if you have seen The Killer before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.